Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday. Of course it is. And it must be Tuesday because I'm here. And I don't know, you might be there. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be anybody there. Oh, it says five viewers in. Oh, we've scared some off. But there's no one. There's no one in the chat, so it's just me and you. Even though there are lurkers, just me and you. So I don't know what you want to talk about. Anyone got any ideas? No. Okay then. Could be a short one tonight. Yeah. Could be a short one. Anyone? Is there anybody there? I don't think there is. Alex is in. Hooray! He says good evening, or just evening. Sorry, but he's number one. He's got the crown. He's king of the castle because there's nobody else in. So, what would you like to talk about tonight, Alex? Or anything on your mind? We can do anything. Oh, Rene's in. Blimey, are you good, Rene? You weren't in last week. People were worried about you. Am I all good? Yeah, I'm still alive. I've still got a pulse. So I guess that's it then, isn't it? Bjorn says about the Genesis article. Wasn't Gabriel part of the £300 million deal? That's why he earns from the new box set. No. Look, I don't know what people have an issue with things that I say, right? Sometimes I think people are not listening. The Times article quite clearly says that he did not sign the deal. He owns his copyright to those songs. He was the only one of the 5 who didn't sign up, right? It's quite clear. Even Tony Banks calls him, a bastard for not doing it. And it was somebody in the comments said, but it says on the Concord site. Well, they're contradicting it. I'm just telling you what was said in an article. The Times, you can go and look. I've put the link in there, but again, it is behind a paywall. By all accounts, a deal was made for $300 million, whatever that is in pounds. Around, again, they don't even know, it's around 300 million. It could be more, could be less, we don't know. For the catalogues, plus the solo catalogues, it explicitly says it. Most importantly, Phil Collins. It says that in the Times article. But when it was originally reported, it was only like the post-Gabriel stuff. But it wasn't, according to that article. It was everything. It was the entire catalogue, including the band members' solo catalogues. I think that's an important deal because of Phil Collins. But Gabriel didn't sign up because very likely he didn't want to give away his solo catalogue because he's still working. He's still an artist who is, working out there. So that's it. No, he earns from the box set because he didn't get he didn't get his cut of the 300 million. Remember, it's not that much when you think about it because they've got to split it 5 ways. Again, that's going to be complicated because, how do they split that? That's the details. But he didn't, and that's why for every copy of that box set you buy, Gabriel will get a royalty. The others won't because they've already had their royalty, and Concord will be bringing out more product in order to get their investment back. It's the same with Sony, with Queen, and Pink Floyd, and whatnot. And all these labels. Are they labels? I wouldn't even call them labels anymore. They're more like investment. They're more like media investment companies, aren't they? All those companies are now going to be, syncing music with movies and adverts, and selling more product, more T-shirts, more, I don't know, nose hair trimmers, Genesis, with Genesis logos on, in order to get back their investment. It's great. Andrew's in. He says, I'm in. And he said he missed you. See, Renee? Andrew missed you. Bjorn says, got you. Next question. Was Collins interviewed in the article? No, because he's recovering from knee surgery and is in Switzerland. Earlier in the year, Mike Rutherford had a hip replacement and Gabriel recently had his prostate removed. That's all we know in terms of health. Banks seems fine. All right. Andrew says, respect to Danny Thompson. Yeah, another one who's pegged it. Yeah, he played on so many records, I can't even be bothered to start talking about it. He played with everybody. Everyone. Kitten's in. He says, Anthony Phillips probably gets a few pence. Yes, for his trespass. He would have been involved for that first album. Yeah. You know, it would have been a nice little nest egg for him, I would imagine. Again, it's interesting how they divvy this stuff up, because from Trespass to the Lamb, everyone got an equal share of the writing credit. Then after the Lamb, from Trick of the Tail onwards, you had individual writing credits for songs, even though they were kind of a cooperative. You know, someone had come in with a loose idea for a song, and everyone would contribute. Again, I don't necessarily think, when you're working in a band, right, I don't think it's necessarily fair that the guy with the idea gets the full credit, you know. And I think, when you're working in it, unless you come in with a fully formed song, you know, that you've done, you've worked it all out and you want them to play it like the way you wrote/recorded it. But very often, these bands, whether it be, you know, Pink Floyd, Queen, Genesis, very often the band member will bring in a skeletal idea, you know, and everyone will add to it. And that's a cooperative, collaborative process. And I don't necessarily think it's fair that, you know, the guy who, I don't know, wrote the lyrics or brought the nugget of the song in gets the full credit. But that's what Genesis did after the Lamb, from Trick onwards. And that's why when you look at the albums, it says, you know, whoever, you know, in terms of the credit. So those albums, a bit more easy to divvy up. But with the first few, you know, from Trespass to the Lamb, everyone was equal, and I think that's a fair way of divvying up the money. Renee says, I fell asleep last Tuesday while live stream was on. This house moving, hate it. Tomorrow is our first night in a new home. Well, that should be exciting. That should be nice. It's always fun. I like the first night is always a bit odd, isn't it? Especially when it's late. You might be in the kitchen on your own, and you think, oh, this feels odd. This smells weird. The noises are different, you know. But hopefully you settle in all right. You know, hopefully it's not too stressful for you. But moving is a stressful thing, and like I said, if we ever move, I'm paying a man to do it all for me. I'm done with moving. I moved too many times in a very short amount of time, and I'm not doing it again. Bjorn says, I wonder how Collins is now. His knee surgery side, his cognitive side wasn't all good the last time we heard him talk. Well, oh God, there was rumours. When was it? Again, I can't say last month because it'll be October when many people will see this. But I think in August, there was a lot of weird rumours that Phil Collins was on his deathbed. It was really quite nasty. Lots of weird things saying that he died. I heard rumours that he died and that he was in a coma. There was some really strange noises being made about him. But obviously, yeah, he was in hospital but having his knee done. Again, he unfortunately, I don't know, succumbed to... He says it's alcoholism, and that had an effect on his health. Yeah, none of us are getting any younger. But being a drummer, and a drummer that really did whack. He's a rock drummer. Rock drummers have a hard time sustaining the rock drummer, lifestyle, because I've said this before, when you hit the drum, all the force goes up the stick, up your arm, into your shoulder and down your back, and it's going to hurt. One day it's going to hurt. I mean, Bruford retired over it because he was feeling, and he was never a whacker. He's a jazzer, but even he felt it, and that's why he retired for a bit. But now he's rested and he feels he can play, and that's a good thing. Again, that's why you see more like old jazz drummers than old rock drummers, unless you're Charlie Watts, but he's not with us anymore. But again, he wasn't a whacker, was he? It was all carefully mic'd, so you could hear him, and that really does knock the stuffing out of them. So yeah, I mean, God, Phil Collins in one interview said he had a recording studio built in his basement and he was ready to start recording again. So who knows how true that is, but yeah, none of us are getting any younger. So Payne's in. Evening, hope you're well. Payne says first time getting up to pee at night in a new home could get confusing. Well, I don't tend to have that problem. even though I'm a type 2 diabetic. Once I'm in bed, I'm usually in bed for the long run. Funny thing was, God, when we was at the other place. Oh God, when would it have been? Around 2012, 2013. I was suffering with that, and I thought I had diabetes then. That was in 2013. I went to the doctors, and of course they give you a urine test. Not sugar. No, he said I had a urinary infection, and they gave me some tablets. But I think what it was is I was a little bit too heavy, and I think when you're moving around in bed, it all kind of squashes together, and squashes your bladder, because when I wasn't. It's just sitting around with little kids and not moving. It's the first time in my life. It's like for 5 years I didn't move. So the weight just piled on. Even when I was at the shop, I was moving around and lugging things around, so I was a bit more muscular, But I just got fat from looking after the kids. And then when they got a bit bigger, we could walk faster. Got a faster dog with Hannah when she was around, and the weight came off, and I never had the issue anymore. But I've never been one of those people. That's why they ask you. When I had my blood tests, my first blood test, and it was like, oh, have you had any symptoms of diabetes? Did you get up in the night? I'm like, no. Do you pee all the time? No. Only when it gets colder when it gets colder, for the winter. I go a lot in the mornings, like from about 10 o'clock to lunchtime. I go a lot then for some reason. It's just the cold gets to my bladder. Taking the dog out and coming back, I think it just gets to me. But I've never got kind of discombobulated in a new place. I always tend to know where everything is. So, but yeah, I can imagine. Again, if you've got a big place, I've never had a really big place. But if you had a really big place and the toilet was, I don't know, down a long hallway, and you didn't have a chandelier, walking along in the cobwebs, like a Hammer horror movie, I think you could get a bit lost then. But I've always had the toilet near the bedroom door, if you know what I mean. not right near, but within staggering distance, So, well, that's it. That's the toilet habits, the nocturnal toilet habits of Darren Locke. There we go. There we go. We know each other so well. Kitten says, Paul McCartney making hospital visits. I don't know. Is that true? Stey's in. He said, evening. Dog cam. She's not here. She's not here. Sorry. Now the weather's getting a bit cooler. We are shutting the door. And so she's probably upstairs on the bed watching the telly. Robert says, if I need to go, my brain gives me a look for the toilet dream. Thankfully I do wake up in time. mind you, yeah, when you have those dreams, if you had those dreams when you really need to go. I've had dreams when I'm looking for a toilet and they're either locked or I can't find one. I've had those kind of dreams, and then you wake up in the morning and you need to go. I've had those, and I understand where you're coming from there. I mean, we deal with all the important issues of the day. It's men and their prostates. Again, Gabriel had his prostate removed. So, thankfully, touch wood, I've never had the test. I've never had any issues with it. He says it's probably the size of a watermelon by now, and I just haven't noticed. Blimey, lummy, here we go. But yes, these are the topics that everybody wants to talk about. So any other things you want to discuss? Blimey, it's October tomorrow. We got through September in a real quick. Didn't we get through September really quickly, or was it me? Though very expensive, like I said, very expensive at September because kids' birthdays. It was Herb's birthday yesterday. He was 16, so yeah, that's that one done. We've done that one now, so it goes really quickly all this time. Like I say, none of us are getting any younger. Payne says the one we talked about middle-aged stuff. Well, I think are we middle-aged or are we just old now? I can't tell. For Renee, October's already there. Yeah, well, I know you're in a different time zone, but come on, Greenwich Mean Time. We invented it. We invented time. You guys are just borrowing it off of us. Are you not? Andrew says just ordered the robot box set. That's Alan Parsons' project, which I think is some kind of hovercraft. Never been a fan, don't get it, but hey, if that's what floats your boat, what can I do? Kitten says the year is just a blur. Part life. Payne says, yep, September 25 over in 30 minutes. Yeah, it kind of whizzed, didn't it? It whizzed really fast. Oh dear. I feel knackered. I just feel really tired. Don't know. See, it's like walking the dog. It wears you out. I've not been doing the longer walk of an evening. I've kind of cut back on that because I don't know, just not feeling it. We're just having a shorter walk in the evening, half the walk in the evening. Payne says it's only October for Renee because Britain says so. Indeed, for we invented time, and everyone else is just borrowing it. They're on borrowed time. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Kit says, are you getting Split Ends box set? Not the box set. I'm getting the vinyl. I'm getting the vinyl set because I want the vinyl set, and also I'm getting the. Oh god, they're doing a surround sound disc. They're doing one of those limited edition. On Super Deluxe Edition, that website, they're doing a Blu-ray audio of those albums in surround sound. It's the only place you can get it. So I've got that down for order, and the vinyl box set, I went for that as well because, well, I fancy it. The CD set has live stuff and some demos which I'm not that interested in, so I just thought the vinyl was the best way to go. And also I'm hoping that because I'm getting it from Amazon, I might get the downloads, the CD downloads, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes if you buy the vinyl version of a box set, Amazon Music gives you the whole shebang. Yeah, so there you go, if you're lucky. But yeah, so I'm getting getting it up on screen. I went for this one. So there you go. And that's a triple. That's a triple. That's a triple set. It's got the album, and then the album, and then some other bits. So that should be good. It's got mental notes and second thoughts, and some of the singles that were out in New Zealand, like Sweet Talking Spoon Song and Lovey Dovey and For You, which should be good. So yeah, I'm going for that one. It was good because I had a voucher. I saved my voucher, and I actually pre-ordered it when it was £41. It's gone up to 50 quid now, so I'm getting that for 11 quid. Because I had a 30 quid voucher. I think that's a good deal. So that's what I'm going for. But like I said, also spent money on the surround sound edition. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm bothering, but it's one of those limited things. I think they're quite good fun actually. The stuff that Super Deluxe Edition are doing and putting out. Doing a lot of records on this pure Blu-ray, or whatever it's called. I don't know if it's called that anymore. Pure audio. Was that DVD? I can't remember. But anyway, they're doing everything on Blu-ray anymore. I've got quite a little collection over there. There, just over there. Just pointing to it. I've got quite a little collection of that, and there's been some good ones. There's a Dire Straits one, and then there's a Brian Ferry one, and a Roxy Music one, and I should really review them, but yeah, maybe I will do. Now I'm kind of getting on the horse again, because I was a bit off the horse because earlier in the year I had a couple of teeth out and I just didn't want to talk because my mouth was so sore. It was like really and it was bad enough doing the Tuesday night live streams, but I just didn't fancy gabbing at the camera because it was sore. It takes a long time for everything to heal up in my head. And it was a bit sore talking. So Bjorn says, have you revisited I.O. by PG recently, or did you give up on the release? I read his recording note for not wait tears for releasing it. Well, I mentioned it in my video, which you obviously didn't watch, that he says it's coming along. It could be next year. I did actually mention that. I mean, God, Bjorn. I wonder why I bother. Sometimes, why do I bother? So yeah, Alex, have I revisited it? Not recently. I listened to bits of it when I was doing a dog walk, probably in the summer, early summer, I think it was. It's all right. I don't think much of it, to be honest. I don't think it's that good. There's only the four kinds. Was it four kinds of horses? Is that what it was called? Oh, that was the only decent track on there. But the rest of it was a bit simple. It was a bit, simplistic. And again, the retreading ideas. So yeah, I just thought it was a bit weak. He needs a producer. He needs somebody to guide him. I think Gabriel producing himself is always the worst thing. Again, I thought Up was bad, but Up's fucking genius compared. It is. I really enjoy it now. Now, if you'd asked me about Up, I really enjoy Up now. I think Up's really good. At the time, I thought it was a little bit leaden, but now, if I skip the Barry Williams show, it's a really good album. Alex says, "Oh no, it'll be Halloween soon. I get loads of trick-or-treaters here, and up and down like a yo-yo. I think this year I'll turn the lights off and hide upstairs." Where are you in? I hate to ask. Are you in the US or not? You have to give me your postal address, but we don't tend to have that much problem. Though I do have a story. I have a weird story. I did share this on Facebook the other day. So if you're a Facebook follower, I apologise for the repeated material, but it was a bit of an odd one. It was a bit of an odd one. What night was it? Wednesday, last Wednesday it was. last Wednesday we were sitting down for dinner. It was the first meal of the autumn menu, so we was I was looking forward to it. Don't know about the kids, but I was looking forward to it. Thing is I was expecting delivery from Amazon. Could have been dog food, could have been something from Herb's birthday. So I was a little bit aware, that maybe the doorbell might ring. So sometimes if the doorbell rings, I will ignore it. I will willfully go fuck 'em, because you don't have to open the door unless you're expecting something. And around Herb's birthday or Verity's birthday, I will open doors because it could be a delivery from Amazon, from uncles and aunts and whatever. So I was on a little bit of alert. I was getting to literally last mouthful of food on the plate. I was literally down to the last knockings, and the doorbell rings, and I said, "Oh, Amazon man!" I go, "Amazon man." Didn't bother to check through the peephole, did I? I opened the door, and who is before me? This little old lady. Not that little, but she was standing down, and I'm kind of standing up. I got the height advantage anyway, but white-haired, probably 70-ish, bit of a ruddy complexion, and I'm like, "You're not the Amazon man." She says to me, she gestures, she goes, she was either waiting for a vehicle recovery. She was saying, "Oh, my car's broken down." Now, either the vehicle recovery guy was there or she was waiting for it. I can't. Again, it was a bit jumbled, and I'm like, and I look, and I can't see anything. All I can see is cars parked. It's the road where we are. It's a little kind of U-bendy bit, and it's there's just cars. I don't see any flashing yellow lights, and I look and I go, right. And then she says, "Can I use your toilet?" And this is the moral quandary, and you can feed back in the comment section. And I went, "No, I'm eating my dinner," and closed the door on her, because something felt off. It felt really off. One, it was, what time was it? Probably just getting towards 8 o'clock in the evening, so it was dark out. It's not a summer evening. It was dark. It was a bit cool. I was eating my dinner. Dog was barking behind me, and no, I'm not letting anybody in to my home at that time of the night. Ain't happening. Not happening. Not one iota. And I didn't feel like that. Her story just didn't feel genuine, because I couldn't hear any cars running. I couldn't hear anyone working on a car. Couldn't see anything. Couldn't see any flashing lights. Couldn't see anything. It didn't feel genuine to me. It felt weird. And I was thinking, well, she would have had to have knocked, because we're quite a way up. We're not on the corner. We're further away from the main road. It just didn't feel right. So I go back upstairs. Mrs. goes, "What was it, Amazon?" I went, "No," and I told her, related the story. She didn't let her in. So not bloody likely. And we all laughed about it. How peculiar. We just talked about it. How weird. Because we never have that. That's not something that happens. And I said, "Oh man, maybe I feel bad about it." And then I said, "No, I don't," because she spoilt my blooming dinner. Because she did. But then, because the missus said, "Well, I would never have let her in anyway," because she's really tough. She's the tough one. I'm the soppy git. She's the tough one. But then we started talking about the story of what happened to her parents, where they live. There's a lot of passing trade, because it's kind of it's like a holiday place nearby, and there's a lot of elderly people living there. It's like a retirement sort of area, sort of thing. It's one of those seaside cul-de-sac type places that a lot of old people live in. Well, anyway, and this old lady knocked and asked to use their toilet, and they said, "Sure, come in." Why not? Who wouldn't? It was during the day, and they let her in. Well, she had volcanic diarrhea, by all accounts, and it weren't pretty. She was in there for about half an hour, and they're thinking, "Oh God, has she had a heart attack?" They're worried. She was in the house for ages, and then I guess the smell started seeping from under the door, and he's like, "Oh God, what's she been eating? Cat food?" And then she went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a bit of a tummy upset." And then she made her excuses and left. And then they spent like the rest of the day basically throwing everything out that was in there, because and disinfecting the bathroom. And it's like, so the missus is very anti people using your toilet if you don't know them, So, but I thought it was just a really peculiar request. Now, normally, if I hadn't been eating my dinner and I wasn't down to the last morsel, and I was really enjoying it, mind, if it had been like, I don't know, an afternoon, I would have politely said, "Oh, there's a pub just round the corner, literally 2 minutes walk." Or there's a pub just down there, 5 minutes walk. Again, so 2 pubs, and there's a Lidl. I don't know if there's toilets in the Lidl, but you know what I'm saying? But there you go. Peculiar thing. So I thought it was an odd story. But then, the great thing about being me is, one, I'm me, and that's great. That's a fucking achievement. That is. But I do love finding things. I do love seeing things when we're on the dog walk. And I posted this. I posted this on the old Facebook today for everyone to see. We found this on the grass. Whoops! When I was walking, Layla, we found this cryptic note: "Who threw the eggs on the car? Suck my dick." And again, I think they kind of get a bit confused there. Was it an N that they turned into a K, or did they do a K and was going to do an exclamation point? I don't know. They're very angry because the spacing, that's written by somebody who's really angry. But I noticed that they've taken the time to wrap it in, I think it was cellophane. So it's to preserve it from the elements. I thought it was very curious. But the question is, who did throw the eggs? Which car got egged? And were any dicks sucked? These are the questions my journalistic brain chewed over. And that's what we love to find on the walk. Where are we? Kitten K says, "Nice." Renee says, "The new Genesis box set. I never owned the album, but heard it several times. Is the box set the right one to buy?" I don't know. How much money you got? Watch the review. I mean, I don't know. Why would you buy it if it's not an album you love and you're just a casual viewer? Then probably no. If they do again, are you a vinyl? Are you a vinyl or are you a CD? What are you? If you're a vinyl, I'd wait for Concord Music, who controls the Genesis back catalogue, to split the vinyls out of the set, because that usually always happens. It very, very, very usually happens, and then pick up because it's a really good pressing. The vinyl there is very, very good. It's the original 1974 mix. They've taken those masters and they've done a new cut. Miles Shoal supervised that, I believe. Gurgle. So I thought the vinyl was very nice. It sounded very pleasant. A lot of detail. Lovely bottom end. Seriously, you really do get to hear Rutherford's bass playing. I thought it was really good. So if you like the vinyl, that's good. You've also got the live album, which is nice. But again, with the box set, you also get download codes and you can listen to it digitally as well. So, but for 180 quid, it's very expensive and a little bit unnecessary. I think it could have been 100 quid easy, but there you go. Andrew says, "Always found download codes never seem to work for some reason." Never had a problem. Payne says, sorry folks, got to get some sleep, take care. Well, have a lovely kip. And everyone say good night. Alex says, sorry if I've talked about it, but will you be getting the Beatles Anthology 4? Now it's been released on its own. Probably not. I don't know. Again, I was toying with the idea of getting the box set, the complete thing, but that was like 300 quid. I was like, maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. It'll probably be streaming. They'll probably stream it, and I'll listen to it there. I don't feel I necessarily need to own Beatles, if you know what I mean. They're not. I mean, they're not Genesis, are they? They're not Genesis. Alex says, no, about 10 or 11 miles from Southport in Ormskirk. Oh, sorry, Alex. Of course, I should have known that. And you get a lot of trick and treaters up there. Blimey. I thought, you know, I thought that up there they'd be kind of not doing it. You know? I thought it'd be a more of an American thing because we don't really get bothered by it. We don't get much because there's not many young kids. Oh, well, there are now actually. Actually, there are young kids around here now because there's a family next door and they've got the people next door. But I don't think they really trick or treat. So, but we don't really. We turn the lights off. We turn the lights off anyway. You get nothing from us. I don't believe in it. Oh yeah, you tell your kids don't take sweets from strangers, and then you're saying that weird guy at the end of the road, knock yourself out. You know, don't worry. You can trust him on one night of the year, but not Nancy Nigel over there. Don't never trust Nancy. Russell's in. He says evening, and Andrew says, Darren, it might have been me. What might have been you? What might have been you? Kitten says, I would never let a stranger use my toilet except someone doing work for me. I had that once. It was the BT man. I was having broadband installed or something. I was having like an upgrade to my broadband. This was 2011, 2012-ish. He went, oh, can I use your toilet, Gov? I went, yeah, sure. Oh, boy. Oh, I regret that. He stank the place out, he did. I've got 2 little kids with me. It's like, and I couldn't open the windows because it was cold. It was like, oh, man. You didn't have to drop your guts, son. I thought it was a wee. I thought you wanted a number 1. There are rules. Number 2s, no number 2s. So, you know, I'm loath. I hate it. I hate it when workmen use your facilities. It's like, nah, don't like that. Don't like it. There's a pub around the corner. You can always go there. So no. Kitten Go says, lol. Russell says, wonder if they'll release another Beatles Anthology 5 eventually. It'll be AI generated. Be after Macca and Ringo shuffle off and they'll AI it. Andrew says, ring in your doorbell. Indeed. Sty says, Beatles have 4 anthologies, seems appropriate. Whether people like them or not. Well, there's a 5th one. There's a 5th one coming out, so stick that in your pipe. But it's also expensive. Also, I mean, that box set, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at you. I got it via, was it juno.co.uk. They do musical instruments and all sorts of stuff. I've bought music gubbins from there, but they also sell vinyl, and they had it in stock for 150 something pounds. And I thought, well, that's not too bad. But then they also had Klarna, which allowed me to pay over 3 instalments, so it's like 50 quid a month. It was like, well, I can afford that, but I can't afford 150 quid. Not in September, not when the kids have all their birthdays. Can't be doing with that. But yeah, it's a shame because I'd like to get the Peter Hammill box set as well, but you never know. Maybe I'll sell one of my many copies of The Lamb. So I took the records out because you can't have the records in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 copies. 6 copies, is that right? No, 7 if you include the box set. 7 copies. I don't think I've still got the cassette. I think I wore the cassette out years ago. Oh well, these things happen. One, two. Yeah, it's about right. I need help. Kitten says, my favourites. Any favourite sounding lamb? Oh god, there's so many to choose from. I like the 5.1 surround sound version. I think that's really good fun. Of all the surround sounds, and there's only been 2, that's the best one. The Atmos is an absolute travesty. It sounds, again, it's the worst remix since Jacko Jack shit got his hands all over Thrack, and that was a dog's breakfast. It's like Fripp said, that's his favourite album. Go fuck it up. And he did. Thanks. But it was unpleasant to listen to. It was an unpleasant listening experience. And that's unusual. That's unusual to say. So that's unpleasant. So I like the 5.1. In terms of like everything else, because we've got to go back in time. We've got to go back into the annals of time. So I started on the cassette version, right? And it was, and I played it in a Walkman, and I wore it out, and that was my favourite version because I only had the one version back then. And then, is it that one? I can't remember which one it is. That one there, that one. My mum bought me that one, and that was my favourite version. But the artwork, they messed the artwork up on those early Genesis CD editions. They put a grey border around the artwork, but it wasn't perfect because some of the like the track timings were off. In fact, they still get them a bit wrong even to this day. But then the 1994 remaster came out. That'd be that one there, that one there, that one. That came out, and then that was my favourite because it was slightly better than that one. It was genuinely better than that one. Genuinely, I think we can all agree on that. And in 2007, they did that one, but that's a remix. They remixed it, not remaster. They remixed it, and I like it because it pulls the mix apart slightly. Now some different bits, and it's a different perspective on it, right? And then you got the new one, which is back to the 1974 mix, but it's a new master. That is the best. That vinyl is the best. I've got a German pressing as well, which is good. But that vinyl is the best if you want the old album, and the 5.1 is the best if you want the new remix 2007 mix. It's so complicated, isn't it? Isn't it complicated? Isn't it just? But I think that's the answer. Andrew says, see, they are doing Queen album on colour vinyl. Being Rhapsody, yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't need it. I got this big box, Andrew. Do you remember? Isn't that big box that you got your eyes on? I've got that. That was white vinyl. But yeah, it's a shame because it's like the 50th anniversary of A Night at the Opera, and they're doing fuck all. They're doing fuck all for it. It's like you can have a coloured vinyl of it's transparent. You can have a transparent vinyl of it, and and you can have a blue 12-inch of the song Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, you are spoiling us. You are spoiling us. You know, but nah, not interested. Kitten says a lamb for every mood. Well, again, sometimes I want a 5.1. I want to be like living in the future, you know. And then sometimes I want to go old school. I want a bit of vinyl. I can listen to it any way I want. But now I've got another version. I've got the digital, high-res digital version, which is great. But don't get the which one is it? That one. Don't get that one. That's the expensive Analog Productions one. That sounds weird. It's not good. People say it's good, but they say it's good because they've spent a fortune on it, because it's expensive. And it really isn't. It just doesn't sound... Again, this is all subjective. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It sounded very, very uneven. But you know, some people like it. Yeah, it's done from the American masters that they had in Atlantic, and you know, okay, that's what you want. Russell says, I like the remix Genesis album. Selling England sounds great. Selling England needed it, especially when it came to the vinyl pressing. The original vinyl pressing of sorry, my stomach gurgles. The original vinyl pressing of that album, because it was like a 50-minute album, it's a bit undefined towards the end. You know, it's, you know, the end of either side. It's a little bit muddy. I remember having an old copy of it, and it not sounding good, and I think I got rid of it. Immediately. This was back in the fuck knows when. But I got a German pressing, which is a gatefold, and that one sounded all right. German pressings can be pretty good. But yeah, the remixes. A lot of people had issues with the remixes, and I don't know why. I never understood why, because, as I have often joked, it's not like Tony Banks crawled in your window whilst you were sleeping, got your existing... I always point the wrong way because it's mirrored. Your existing... Oh, they're there, aren't they? Your existing Genesis CDs and stuffed them up his bum. It's not like that happened, and you could never listen to them again. You still have the old mixes. I thought the new mix was, again, especially stuff like Trespass. Trespass really needed it. Selling England needed it. Then there were 3. Fucking great album that is. That was a really good remix, because that always sounded a little bit boxy to me, and I thought it really opened up, especially the surround sound version. Really cool. And I really like the surround sound version of Invisible Touch, because you can hear Rutherford's guitars. He's playing some very... Again, he invented a whole new, and again, it's really simplistic style, but he plays this really kind of minimalist percussive guitar stuff all over Invisible Touch, right? It's like, how'd you get away with it? Because it's just, you know, it's almost childlike, but really effective. He never ever did it ever again. It was only on that album. It's really plays some really interesting stuff on that. But I like it because it's all pulled apart, and it lends itself very, very well, because there's a lot of synthesizer stuff swooshing around and percussive effects. Invisible Touch is very, very good in 5.1, very good in surround sound. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed those box sets at the time. It was a really nice treat. Again, very exciting when it came out. You've got the lovely chapter and verse book as well that accompanied it, where they're talking, again, the band are talking, they tell the story in their own words. Can I? I think I've showed it to you before, but I don't know if many people realise it exists. Oh, I don't know how popular it was at the time. Oh, This is a big boy, and wait a minute, some people have fucking scribbled all over it. Bastards! How dare they? But yeah, see, look, that's when Phil could still stand up. Oh, look, and yeah, this is it in their own words. They actually, you know, and this is the sort of thing they should have done for that. But I can't lift it anymore. It's really heavy. It's really heavy, man. And yeah, there's loads of stuff in there and pictures and them talking about the early years. And there's Tony Stratton Smith. And yeah, it's I think it's a really, really good book. Really good book. Yeah, really good book. I like that one. I don't know if you've seen it, but do get it. It's a good one. And that came out with, it's like accompanies the box sets. So those box sets, like I said, every album on the DVD that came with those albums, every album had a little documentary, a little interview piece with each member of the band that were on that album, talking about the making of and whatnot, which is really cool. And it's also backed by a lovely book as well. So it was a complete package. And that's what's kind of lacking with this new one. Yeah, the essay in it's okay, but but Renner says, not receiving my messages, Darren. I think they're blocked. What do you mean? There's no blocking. Depends what are you saying? Are you being naughty? I wish you wouldn't. Uh-oh. Have we lost the connection? Hello? Hello, it says not. It says the stream is poor, but not at my end. Okay. Okay, that seems odd, because are you getting me at the back? I don't know. I'll carry on. Okay. Something went odd there. It says I've lost stream, but my software says everything's fine. Something happened momentarily, I guess. No, but I'm not blocking you, Renee. I don't know what you. If you've stopped swearing, stop swearing. Kitten says I like the remixes. And adds, those 2000 box sets were dirt cheap in the US when they were first out. Gave those away and got the UK SSDs for a decent price. Well, again, when they came out, they were like 60. I think they're about 60 to 70 pounds. For what you're getting. It was just like I didn't complain. I think it was only the later ones where they had the DVDs in it that they started to get. They was heading towards £90, I think. But maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe it was £80. I might have the receipts in the boxes. I'll have to have a look. But they weren't expensive for what you were getting. I.e., 5 albums or 6 albums or whatever in a nice box with an extra disc. With all of them having DVDs or SACDs. It was a no-brainer, But here we are. Now we're being charged stupid about money for for not a lot. But there we go. Harry's in. This is evening, and the same to you. How are you doing? Are you bearing up? Are you bearing up? We have our resident rock star in tonight. We are not worthy. We are not worthy, Mr. Whiteley. Hope everything's going well for you in rock and roll land. Andrew says, what happened to Chester Thompson these days? He's a good drummer. He still is a good drummer. He still plays. It's just Phil Collins stopped liking him. and replaced him with his son. It was, I think it's something as simple as that. Chester Thompson tells the story that, you know, it was on the last tour he played with him, is he kept picking on him and kept blaming him for things, and it came to a head, and then he was never invited back. You know, so I mean, Chester Thompson does his own thing, and I think he does drum tuition, and he also has bands that he's in, so he's still playing. I mean, really good drummer, you know, what can I say? For Phil Collins to have a go at Chester Thompson, that just seems obscene to me, because that guy is solid, you know. But then Phil Collins isn't a nice fella. Read his biography. He's not a nice man. Kitten says, you start from, okay, we've done that yet. Rennie says, I won't be a naughty boy. You two want it clean. It wasn't that bad. Well, I'm not blocking you. And I mean, there might be, I might have it on minimum. Even if I turn off the filter, it's still, look, YouTube does its own thing. Don't blame me. People say, oh, you delete my comment, you did this, you did that. It's like, it deletes my comments, and it's my channel, so, you know, it is what it is. So don't blame me all the time. I will tell you if I block you. You know, I'll be honest. If I don't like you, I will block you. If you are irritating, I will block you. But most of the time, I'll leave you alone. However, if you come on and argue with me, I'm talking about in the comments section of the videos, and what I get is people coming on and arguing with me. And when the argument's ended and they haven't replied for a couple of days, I delete the thread, because usually these arguments serve no purpose to anything. So, you know, there's no point in sitting there. So we've had the conversation. I've had the last word usually. And so I delete the thread, because it's just a dead conversation with usually nothing, no relation to the topic whatsoever. Russell says, drummers, I think he means drummers, seem to get mistreated a lot lately. Well, you know, I think again, Chester Thompson's still out there. I do not want to try Gemini's Google Assistant. Oh, you just can't type anything in without a pop-up. Let's see what he's up to. See if there's any news. Oh, in this article, Ultimate Guitar, he defends Phil Collins. There you go. Here you go. Cosmic Cathedral. Chester Thompson teams up with Neil Morse for Cosmic Cathedral. That sounds like just the title just sounds terrible, doesn't it? You know? Oh dear. But yeah, he's still around. So Russell says again, drummers seem to get mistreated lately. He's just gibbering. He's just whittering on to himself. Are you all right there, Russell? You okay? I think Russell's having a stroke. Hey. Kitten says Collins and Thompson drum duets were pretty awesome. Not as good as when Bill Bruford steps in. Go and listen to Cinema Show, the end of that on 3 Sides Live, and It/Watcher of the Skies on. Sorry, I should have said Cinema Show on Seconds Out. Watcher of the Skies on 3 Sides Live, the UK version, not the American version. two versions of that album. One has some live stuff on, you know, on the fourth side. The American version has some of the B-sides from, God, is it Duke era? You Might Recall and that kind of stuff on there. From like the 3x3 EP. But yeah, listen to that and you hear Bruford doing his machine gun snare. It's just blows Collins away with his power. Andrew says, always like Weather Report albums. Yeah, they're alright. They're alright. I'll list a few of those myself. Rene says, it's probably me. Sorry, Darren. The hand's moving and getting to me, I think. It's okay, Rene. It's okay. Have you had a little bit? Have you relaxing? Are you relaxing? Rene, you know you shouldn't go on the internet when you've had too much. You know. Kitten says US was actually 3 sides live. Yeah. The US version's got the B-sides on, and the UK Europe version has got the It Watcher of the Skies, or Watcher of the Skies. No, It Watcher of the Skies, which is really cool. I like that. It's very good. Russell says, don't know why that question was repeated, lol. No, I think maybe YouTube's just having a seizure. Maybe YouTube's just a bit confused. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Nobody knows. Ay. Oh, well, it's October the 1st now. We're 15 minutes into October. Oh my goodness. Oh man. We're heading into winter and I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like it very much. So any more for any more? Anything else you want to talk about while we're here? While we're all gathered here together? What do you reckon? Anything good? Anything you want to say? No? All gone quiet. All gone. Okay, we haven't got dog cam, but I can bring you the picture of the day. There you go. That's the picture of the day of Layla. This is what I'm greeted with all the time, and this is titled "There Is Only Ball." And that's right, there is only ball because there is nothing else. There you go. So that's to make up for no dog cam. There you go. Any more for any more? Kitten says Layla is very cute. When she wants to be, when she's not, you know, getting grumpy. She's all right, and she'd make a good album cover. Indeed, it would, wouldn't it? But I've only had Layla on the album cover. She's on Last of the Old Laytonians. Let me pull that one up. Oh God, pop-ups, fucking pop-ups. Always pop-ups. The funny thing is even though that's Hannah, it could be Layla. I could Photoshop her in, couldn't I? And that's the legendary bus stop at the end of time. That really does exist. That is real. But no bus ever stops there. So if you wait there, you would literally be waiting there forever. And that's why I call it the bus stop at the end of time. Because, you know, There are no buses. Not that I'd ever get on a bus. Puh, with all the plebs. I ain't been on a bus in, God, 25 years. Not when you got feet. Rennie says, only a one joint and a whiskey. Told you. I predicted it. Did I not predict it? Did I not? Did I not? I know you too well, Renee. I know you too well. Chow says, hi from Chile. Hello there. See, we're broadcasting far and wide. We do when Tom Pinks is in, we do Argentina. We have Chow from Chile. So there you go. Remember, if it's Chile, put a jumper on. I'm here all week, folks. I'm here all week. Kitten says, you could do a remix with Layla. I could drop her in, couldn't I? I could go and sit round there and get the missus to stand on the other side of the road, wait for the traffic to clear, and get another snap. We should do that. We should do that. Russell says, nothing worse than waiting at the wrong bus stop. Well, no, this bus stop has been there for, I don't know, years. It's been there, well, as long as we've lived here, it's been there, but obviously it's been there longer than that. And it's funny because it's been vandalised, and like people have painted over it. They've knocked the windows out of it, and literally within 24 hours, it's cleaned, it's repainted, new windows are put in. It's like it's a cosmic bus stop. It's just weird. Whoever owns and runs that bus stop, they want it fixed. Now, there are other bus stops on our route that windows get knocked out, gets vandalised, can take months, literally months for them to be fixed. But that bus stop is magic, and nothing ever stops there. No bus ever stops there. And so when I was thinking, what could I do? And I came up with that idea, the idea of just waiting forever sort of thing with the dog. I think it's very much a me album cover. I like it a lot, and it works so well because the missus on the other side of the road with the iPhone, I think it was, and the dog she was very good. She looked in the right direction, and we got the shot. It was just perfect, and it worked. It literally just it couldn't have gone any better. Hannah was really good. She did a really good job of it. I'm very pleased with her for that. She was a good girl. But yeah, Russell says, when can a bus stop get owned by the National Trust? Well, I think I want to have a blue plaque on there. Darren Locke sat here once. I'd love it to be like when I'm dead, I'll have me ashes spread there or buried next to it. I'll get the missus to bury me next to the bus stop, and then people can come from far and wide to not visit that bus stop. But yeah, it's just a fun. It tickles me that it's still, no one's ever dug it up. They've not got rid of it, And like I said, when it's been vandalised, it gets fixed really quickly. Because I walk past it every day, But it's like somebody really likes that bus stop. Oh, God, still got quite a way to go yet. Any more for any more, or shall we end it now? Russell says, your music could get piped through the bus stop walls indeed. There could be a little sensor, couldn't there? And it would scare people away. People would go, God, what's that racket? And they'd run off. Andrew says, okay, I'm off. Okay, if Andrew's off, then I should be off then. Unless anybody's got anything else they want to talk about. It's up to you. You keep me here. If anyone's got anything else they want to talk about, if there's anything they want me to twitter on about, I will talk. Oh, yeah, this is some news that's dropped. Oh wait a minute, everyone's saying good night. He's going for tea, but there's a new Bowie documentary coming out. Apparently, there's a new BBC documentary on Bowie's Berlin years coming in 2026. This has just been published on Music Radar. It says there's another BBC Bowie documentary on the way. It's called Bowie in Berlin, and due out in autumn 2026, when it will be 50 years since the Thin White Duke relocated from Los Angeles. And you got the Berlin trilogy, with Iggy Pop, Eno, Heroes, whatever. Oh no, that means the featured artist will be talking about it. They've got some interviews with people that have never really been interviewed. Romy Haig, Claire Shenstone, Sarah Rena Hine, and Sydney Rome. These women saw Bowie that nobody else saw, said the BBC statement. They gave him something different, helping his regeneration to an artist who no longer needs to hide behind characters but was happy to perform as himself. David Robert Jones. And this is from Louis Theroux's production company. And Theroux said, this is a dream project. Francis's 3 previous Bowie films. This is Francis Watley, who did the 5 years documentaries. Do you remember those? The gold standard. And perfect match for the material. So yeah, we're gonna have another documentary about Bowie in Berlin. That should be fun. Russell says, are 5-string basses all they cracked up to be? Well, let's have a look. Oh, wait a minute. Let's have a look. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's a 6-string bass. Sorry, can't answer your question. Sorry, can't answer. Sorry. So I was being a bit cheeky there. Wasn't I? I was being a bit cheeky. Yeah, a bit cheeky there. So there. To answer your question, 6-string basses. 5-string basses are a waste of time. Are they a waste of time? Well, you might as well just go for. If you're going to go 5, you might as well just pay and go 6. You might as well just go 6 and be done with it. It's extended scale. You go deep and you go high. There's an extra bit of leg room in either direction. I like 6-string basses because you can go really low on the B string, and sometimes it's good to overdub some deep notes. If you've got a track and you want to really emphasize the bass, I don't necessarily play it, but I'll use it to just pick out some deep bass notes. Or I like using it for the effects, like because it's it's just they're just fun. It's just fun, but I don't know. 5 strings are just you might as well just go to full 6 and be done with it. Rennie says, I'm also gone. Off. Till next time, thanks for chatting. You're welcome. Russell says, I suppose they're good for stuff in E flat. I guess so. Well, it goes down to B. The low string is in B, and I think is it B at the other end as well? I guess it is. Been a long time since I've tuned it up. I think it's B. I think it goes B to B. B to B. They're all right. Again, they're okay. But if you're a bass player, you don't really need a 6-string bass. It's just something that's, sometimes it's good to use it as a jumping off point for an idea. It's nice to have the option. Nice to have the option. But I wouldn't say they're essential. Yeah. Again, they tend to more associate with more of a heavier kind of music, but I don't do it like that because I'm a weirdo. I tend to, when I've used the 6-string bass on tracks before, there was a period, EchoNet period, I was using, I was playing exclusively the LTD 6-string that I had, just because it was different, and also I was kind of playing more down the dusty end, as they say, down the high end, and the bass lines were a bit more kind of the melody line rather than the bass line, because if you go down that end, it's more getting more towards like guitar tuning. So it was nice to do that, because it just sounds different. With a bit of chorus, it can be quite weird. Russell says that 6-string looked nice. Yeah, it is nice. It's bloody heavy as well. It's an Ibanez. Oh god. Oh Jesus, it's so heavy. Ugh. It's an Ibanez in cerulean cosmic blue or something. I've got to be careful with the chandelier. Oh, little tinkle. And yeah, oh god, it's got burl. Look at that, that's burl, that is. Bartolini pickups. They're very nice. And it has got, I don't know if this is, I don't think it's mother of pearl, I think it's abalone. And I don't know what the neck is, but it's in several pieces. Look, it's one of those ones, so it's incredibly solid. It's incredibly solid. But I got this very, very cheap, because this was a part of the backs. This is a BTB 846 cerulean cosmic blue, I think it's called, or cerulean blue, and this was in a Spax second-hand reduction, and I got it for about half price. And what I like about it is it hasn't got a heavy metal headstock. Sometimes when you get a 6-string bass, it has like a pointy headstock, but I like that. And yeah, it's all right. I don't play that often, but I like to go, and that's the only thing I use it for. Good, isn't it? And that's it. That's all I use it for. And it's got lots of EQ that you can play with, and switches and stuff, which I don't fully understand, but but it's nice to have. It's nice to have, but not essential. Kitten says, are you still able to send your CDs to the USA with tariffs? If you buy them straight from me, yeah, because I'll just put gift, and with that, Jack was free. See, gift, value 0, because that's what I do. You buy a CD from me with friends, yeah, I say it's a gift, and that's how we do it. That's how I've always done it. Tariffs or no tariffs, it's my gift to you, because you're not buying a CD. I'm giving you the gift of music. You see, the what you're paying is really just it's just for the shell. It's just for the postage and that. But no, I can send CD, but nobody's buying. I think again, it's put the wind up at everyone. I mean, all my EU people that used to buy my stuff stopped buying it, which is weird, because I'd have put gift on your CD and you wouldn't have paid anything, because it's a gift. I'm going to keep saying that. If anyone in here has bought a CD from me and you live in another country, I think Rene did once. Did you pay any import duty? No. He's gone now, so he can't answer. But I've sent CDs all over the place, all over the world. But again, I think people are a little less keen to purchase because of tariffs and import duty and whatnot. But that four-letter word, it's like magic. Gift. And there you go. No need to pay anything. There you go. Alex says, Jason used to use a 12-string bass on Tagging's Black Album. 12-string as much of a bass. Yeah, well, that's all doubled up. 12 strings aren't 12 strings. There's a lot of duplications. They have a. You have a. Oh God, I've got to get it right now. it's a 4-string bass, right? But it has a treble each string, so you've got 4 strings. So the G has an octave high G and an octave low G, and that's duplicated across, or B or whatever, and that's duplicated. So it's just a fucking noise. He's not actually playing 12 strings. It's just, they're like drones. They're like drone. So when you hit it, it goes ding. Kitten says, good to know. I didn't pay any duties when I bought for him in the past. No, because do you know why? I put gift, and because it's my gift to you. There you go. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Because I'm giving it to the man. I'm giving it to the man. You see, it's a gift. I don't charge full price. You know, I don't charge to make lots of money. So I don't really see it as a business. I don't make any money out of this. I don't make any money out of this. I might do with all this lamb coverage though. I might get a little bit extra this month. If I'm lucky, I might get a tenner more. Ooh. But you know, it's not about the money. So look, if I could send the disc for free and not have to take postage and not have to worry about pressing them. If I was a multi-millionaire, I'd send you the fucking disc for free, because it's not, you know, it's not about that. It's about sharing the thing. I like designing stuff, and I like making the thing. You know, a bit like Wilson. If you read Wilson's interview, we've got a lot in common, because he says he likes building the thing, he likes making the thing, and it being a finished thing. That's what I like. But I like doing the design. You know, I like actually sitting down and coming up with the designs and things for the CDs and that. So it's a big thrill to have a physical product. You know, when I started doing this, God, way back when. Can't remember when well, actually, I'm crikey. I first started doing like physical media at the very beginning of all this, back in 1992, 93, when I put a load of stuff on cassette. And yeah, I didn't have like colour printers or anything, but what I did is I used transparencies, and I printed onto transparency and then painted the artwork and whatever, and then laid it, and then took that to the photocopy shop and asked for, I don't know, 10 colour photocopies, and cut them to size, you know, and then put them in a cassette, and that's how I used to do the inlays back in the day. So I've been doing this, making my own things since like 92, 93. I would show you one of the cassettes, but they're in a box upstairs in a cupboard, so I don't have them to hand. But you know, so it's always been a thrill just to build something, to, you know, make a little thing. And the internet, the great thing about the internet is it allowed me to sell some stuff and you know, just sell things around the world. I think, you know, if somebody received you know, like a copy of God Pays Debts, you know, which was a 4 CD box set, which I I had a colour laser printer, and I used to print them all up and do it all at home. If somebody got that, and I didn't charge a lot for that back in the day, again, probably about 15 quid. If somebody, and that's for 4 CDs, because I was doing it all myself. If somebody got that and went, wow, that's cool, and enjoyed the music as well, then that's it. That's all I'm doing it for. You know, it's never been about money. You know, yeah, it's nice when you get some money, because it enables me to do more things. But you know, that's what it's about. You know, if I could give it away, I would, but I can't, because you have to pay for the things to, you know. Yeah, it's got to pay for itself, and that's the shame of it. And as the years are going on, it's getting harder and harder to pay for itself. So, you know, I'm making fewer and fewer CDs because, you know, people are just not interested. You know, I like to think that's the reason. It's just because not just music, it's getting shitter and shitter. Oh dear. Kitten asks, are you going to do a video comparing waveforms nicest sounds of the lamb? Yeah, I'm working towards that, but it'll probably maybe towards the end of the week, because I don't really want to like bombard you too much, because I want everybody to watch the various bits that I'm doing. You know, I'm kind of trying to build to a peak, but yeah, there will be a comparison of all the CD versions at least. There's not very much point in doing it with the vinyl, because with vinyl everyone's got a different setup. But with digital, you know, with CD, you can rip it and you can compare, and that just, you know, everyone's got a CD player. You know, everyone's, you know, whereas with a record player, everyone's got a different stylus or cartridge or record, you know, or amplifier or whatever. So there's not really much point in me doing that with the vinyl side of things. But with the CD, yeah, I'm going to do that. That's something I'm working towards. And we're going to go right back to the very first Lamb CD. We're going to do the analog one, the analog productions one. We're going to do all of them and look at all of the WAVs. But it's going to be a bit of a big one to do. I've got to sit down, and then it'll get copyright claimed, because I will probably play some of the music just to compare and contrast, and then that'll get copyright claimed, or it'll get claimed. Hopefully it won't get struck, you know, because that's the problem. When I do things like that, I am in danger of, you know, getting stuff removed. It's happened when I did some remixes of Trespass. They weren't too happy about that. Queen, they were fine. They left the Queen stuff up, but Genesis, who I thought were always quite nice, and oh, wait a minute, of course they've sold their catalogue to Concord. That's why they're getting a bit litigious. Oh shit, if I'd have done it years ago, it would have been fine. It's not Genesis who are pursuing it, it's the people at Concord. Oh god, I'm so dim. So yeah, it might be a bit problematic. So it might just be waveforms only, and not actually audio comparisons. I'd like to do an audio comparison, but you know, maybe I'll do both. You know, maybe I'll put the audio comparison behind a paywall, and then people can pay to hear it. I don't know, pay to play. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. But those videos don't make any money, and that's a problem. Get lots of views, but not any money. So, you know, I don't think people appreciate the effort that goes into it. Now, these copies of the Lamb don't buy themselves, you know. Cost money. I don't like to talk. We'll talk about money. It's just so crude, isn't it? It's just so crude. But you know, there's always a financial aspect to it when you're buying stuff. That's just the nature of the beast. And unfortunately, I don't have the draw of less talented people who do music coverage on YouTube. You know, I don't get the figures that I used to. So it's a bit on the it's a bit on the downer, but it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. None of it's a big deal as long as we're having fun. That's the whole point of it, is to have some fun, and we must have fun. Anyway, we're getting close to the end, and I'm getting a bit dry, getting a bit hoarse. So I'm gonna start winding up. I wanna hit 1 hour 30 dead. All right, so I'm going to do a bit of a preamble. Hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's little chat. If you're watching this on catch up, please leave a comment on the comments box and maybe like and share this video. If you don't like it, that's fine. Why are you here if you don't like me? oh wait, because you're obsessed. I remember now, and you're mad. I do love it when people leave comments like that. It's a good one. Ken says, have a great week. Nice seeing you. Same to you. Yeah, I mean, I'll have the usual week. You have an even better week, because it's important that other people have an even better time, because my life just runs at a constant. So that's it. There is no good, there is no bad. It's just But anyway, so yeah, thank you for watching. I'm going to toodle off right now. And yeah, we'll catch up with you next time. And that's it. Remember, most important thing is, if you can't be good, Be safe. But more importantly, don't tell your mother. Night night.